Hello everyone, it's me with Practical Astrology for you, and I'm back with another video. Sorry about the long wait. I really wanted to do this video about probably 2 weeks ago, so I finally got around to making it, and I'm actually writing an article. I have partly written an article about this particular topic, and I'm doing it both in English and German, so that took a bit of time, but now I'm ready to do a little video about it. So this is all about Elon Musk and what we can see in his chart, and this is truly an amazing chart. His chart is just reflects so much of what we can see and hear and perceive of him. When he does interviews, basically almost every statement I've seen from him we can find in his chart and can see it reflected there. So I just want to point out some of the major constellations that I think are really vital in this chart, and they explain a lot about his popularity, his influence, and his just relevance. He's just everywhere, isn't he? Okay, so first of all, this is the chart with the Sun in Cancer and Gemini rising. The Gemini rising and then Mercury is a chart ruler. It's in the first house, and it's also square Uranus, and so is the Sun. And just this alone speaks of an incredible, an intellect that really thinks completely outside the box. So this is not just his thinking, this is also about his actions, because both planets are squaring Uranus. And Mercury-Uranus is also quite a strong indicator of a very high intelligence, because it points toward the ability to really think in the most complex ways, and just be able to get one's head around really complex issues and matters with like a lot of layers, where you really have to change perspective, and you can't really go by the normal ways of looking at things and processing things intellectually. So this is an intellectual approach to life with the Gemini rising, and the Mercury is also strong in the first house, but you still got this really Cancerian underlying vibe. I personally think he really has that quite strongly. There's something quite there's even something quite warm about him, I think, and he's very open. He's very open to conversation, very open to communication. He will always, whatever question he's asked, he will always want to explain things to the best of his ability. He's always willing to answer questions. He's also got a great sense of humor. He makes lots of jokes and tells funny anecdotes. I think that's also very Gemini rising as well, and strong Mercury Uranus, Sun Uranus as well. So this is also someone who thinks and acts really, really fast. I think when you watch an interview with Elon, it always feels like he's like light years ahead, and you really have to make an effort to keep up with him and to understand what he's saying. And it's also interesting, and it goes so much further, and you can really feel this Uranus that wants to go beyond perceived limitations, or beyond what we've known so far. So there's always this challenge to think outside the box and to try what has not been tried before. It's like, I dare you, entertain this idea. So he's really someone who has already proven that a lot of things that we previously thought cannot be accomplished, and he just says, yeah, there's no problem. He's like, okay, no, of course, it's no problem. We can equip all of China with solar panels. There's absolutely no problem with that at all. So it's just a very, very different way of thinking, a very different approach, and I think these constellations show that very well. The Mercury Uranus and Sun Uranus, and Obviously, he's got a strong, charismatic personality as well. Sun in the first house. I don't really know many charts with the sun in the first house, come to think of it. So yeah, I think that does have an impact. Even though there's a shyness and an awkwardness. He was a shy kid and was socially awkward. He also got Asperger's syndrome. He revealed that when he was hosting Saturday Night Live show last year. So that is like an underlying vibe, but there's something very charismatic about him, most definitely. We also have the moon in Virgo in the third house. I think it's just there's a mutual reception here with Mercury that rules the third house, and it's in Cancer, the sign that the moon rules, and that is just another hint at how strongly his intellect and his emotions are connected, and how analytical he is and intuitive, and how easily he can really find just detect practical solutions, and the potential for that, and also how open he is for communication, because the moon in the third house here really shows that he's always open to just give him a challenge. Is that, can you find a solution to that? He said, okay, I'll look into it. And he's willing to consider lots of possibilities, and really has quite an emotional, obviously with Mercury chart in Cancer, very an emotional approach to life, and an emotional approach. I think this constellation really helps understanding his feelings very well, because you can both analyze them on an intellectual level. That's the Virgo moon in the third house, but he's also got the Mercury, which rules this Virgo moon in Cancer, which is brilliant for really also just feeling, and I think connecting the two, analyzing and just really feeling the emotions as well. Some of the most remarkable things I found in this chart is like when we look at how much influence he has, and how much kind of economic power he has, and how much social influence, and everybody wants to know his ideas, and everybody wants to know about his opinions about this, about that, and he's just everywhere. And for that, I think the planets that are most responsible for that is this opposition here, Saturn and Jupiter Neptune. This Saturn Jupiter also speaks of someone who needs to constantly push against limitations. It's always just taking it further and further. Okay, now we've broken this barrier, we can even go further. And this is very persistent, because Jupiter in Scorpio loves a good challenge. So it really doesn't give up. He said he just goes deeper. He says, you just need to go deeper and just understand more and learn more, and then we overcome this perceived limit or obstacle. Saturn can be like an obstacle, something that's in the way, or just like a block like this. We have to get over this mountain. But Jupiter really feels like there must be a way around this mountain, or to just get over it. In some way we can go past this this block or limitation, or something that makes it difficult, when it comes to all his technologies and his ideas, what he wants to achieve and improve as well. So there's just constantly there's still room for approval. This is not where it stops. Like, no, Saturn, it's not going to happen. We can still go further. And I think maybe the Neptune also can speak of, which is in a very tight opposition with Saturn. You can see the first degree of Sagittarius and Saturn, first degree of Gemini. It's like, no, there is another solution. We can kind of dissolve this. So dissolving the barrier. This is just pushing against the barrier and being able to find a way around, or just dissolve the barrier, just with his incredible imagination and creative potential that is shown by Jupiter conjunct Neptune in the 5th house. That is just absolutely amazing. And there's also Pluto in the mix. Pluto is in an exact sextile and is also trining Saturn. So this is just the focus. Just he commands attention, and he can just, this is just very powerful, very influential as well. And we can really see that, over the past few years, especially in the last year. He was also Time Magazine's Person of the Year 2021, so I think that's quite a telling achievement when it comes to, well, his popularity and just the level of interest all over the world in what he's doing, what he has to say, how he sees this issue. It's politics, it's society, it's not just economics and technology. It's just becoming more and more. And I think the Pluto here in the third house, it just feels like, I've got all the knowledge, I can tell you, I can. This is a very. It feels like this. It's just super resourceful as well, the whole constellation, this whole constellation here with Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn. And of course, very interesting is his midheaven. We've got midheaven here in Aries. There's also Chiron return right now happening on his midheaven in Aries. And so this may be about a wound, like having to do with not being recognized enough or not achieving enough in the 10th house. And he's certainly making every effort in order to never let that happen. And he was, as a young man, he was very determined. He had big plans, and even though his father was not appreciative at all, and he would always put him down, call him an idiot, and say you would never amount to anything in life, he just went for it. He just believed in himself, and he kept going, and he really invested in himself, and he knew he was capable of achieving something big, something great here. So I think this is the Aries midheaven, is just this willpower, the courage, and a lot of ambition. I think he's extremely ambitious as well. I think there's something that he's known for. Midheaven always shows what we are known for in the world. So there's just courage. There's a directness, definitely. Let's just do this, we're going to send people to the moon. Not to the moon, to Mars. And Mars is the ruler of Aries. I will come to that in a moment. So just lingering with Chiron for a second. So I think this shows that there is like a strong underlying motivation. This also squares the Sun and Mercury, chart ruler. So I think it's a very strong kind of, we have to do everything to avoid that. We need to be recognized. We need to get the appreciation and the public reward. We want to be seen. We want to be publicly seen. We want to get the appreciation, the reward for our achievements and our ambitions. We want to be public. Well, we must do everything, and we must learn a lot. Mercury, we must learn a lot. He would just always he would constantly read books in his childhood, he said, and this is all about knowledge, Gemini, and always learning more and always educating himself, and he would just do that, and it served him very well, this attitude. So midheaven in Aries here is so interesting, because when we look at what made him famous in the first place is electric cars, right? Tesla Motors. And Aries is the sign that rules cars. Plain and simple, it rules cars. So he's really known for his cars. And the cars are connected with a really advanced technology, because we find Mars in the sign of Aquarius, the ruler of Aries. So this is very strongly connected to technological progress, experiments, and so all his ambition, the Mars, it really It's a full-blown Aquarian force here. Mars is also very close to the North Node, also in Aquarius. So this technological progress and just always innovate. He says, if you want to work for me, you must be willing to innovate. Otherwise, you're out. You're out. He said, you won't get punished if you fail with the project, if if it doesn't go well. But you'll just if you don't even try to innovate, then you're out. It's not possible. You have to be innovative. You have to have this attitude. You have to try to develop new things, and just basically, I think, in some way be similar to his attitude, which we can see here, which is like, we want to create the impossible. Someone want to create the impossible, and doing that, also breaking a lot of taboos or like dogmas. This is 8th house stuff here, and just do things that other people would maybe not dare to approach. This is a very forward thinking, again, very supportive energy to his strong Uranus here with Sun and Mercury. Also midheaven, career, life path is all about just trying and believing in the impossible, and just really forging. It is also very much about, he was kind of on his own. He had to focus on his own interests, and he was also quite isolated at times. So quite of an 8th house kind of thing, and he was still able to just believe that he just had to continue on his own path, no matter what other people would say about that, which can sometimes be a problem with Aquarian energy, because it's not about adapting, it's not about choosing the path that other people have walked before. And so I think this Mars in Aquarius also very much reflects a very controversial image that he has, 10th house thing. So, but nevertheless, very, very fascinating, very progressive, very unique, very different, not afraid, very unafraid, very Aries, very unafraid of the new, very passionate about the new, and as I said, the innovation is super important to him. He just wants people to be innovative. So I think these are the major things in his chart, and there's tons of other stuff that could be said about this chart, and I also did a bit of in-depth analysis of his current relationship. It's kind of an on and off relationship, really, with Grimes, a musician, and so that goes deeper. So maybe I'll be doing another one, but just for now, I don't want to make this too long. This is the major things. Please, as always, leave me your comments. I'm very interested in reading about your point of view. Maybe you've got some ideas about this really fascinating personality of Elon Musk, and give it a like and a share, and I really hope to see you again very soon on the next video. Until then, have a great start to Cancer season. Bye bye.